Hey, what's going on, everybody? Sarasota Tim. Hey, let me close my door. We're going to make a fire. And I'm going to tell you something. I wasn't going to do this. I got to tell you some stuff. I got the weirdest sleeping habits you've ever seen in your life. Oops. Got the racetrack going on out there, even though it's Sunday night. They don't know the difference between Sunday and Saturday night around here. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm putting the propane bottle on. Yeah, we're going to have a fire. I probably want to make it a little further away from the propane bottles. Ooh, first time, every time. Look at that. I think I can get you down here a little lower to where, you know. Are you going to be able to see me in the chair? I don't even have a near beer. All I got is a bottle of water in there. And I'll tell you what's going on. I'm going to move this hose out from under. I don't want to pinch it. All right, let me sit down here and see if you can see me. Ooh, I need some more heat. There we go. Can you guys see me? I think I need to be a little higher on the camera, right? Hiya. And hiya. Hey, anybody seen Sheree? Where'd she go? Oops. My mic falling out. What about Angel Mission? Where's she at? Where y'all go? Let me get a bottle of water. Gotta have something in my hand. Can you still hear me out there? Testing. I'm getting a bottle. I could have done all this before, right? But what are you gonna do? Now, let's chat. What time is it? Right now it is 8:41. Now you should see the video. I'm not going to make this too long. You should see the video before too late. Of course, a lot of you getting ready for bed because they get dark at 4, right? And you got work tomorrow. Some of you. And over on the West Coast, you guys are just getting started. All right, I've been getting up at 2, 3, 11, 2, 9, 6, 5. Every hour you can imagine. And then tonight at 6:30, because it gets dark at 5:30, it's black at 5:30. At 6:30, I was so sleeping in my chair in there that I said, just go to bed, you know? I mean, dang, you're going to just lay in this chair? I kept waking up, my arm was falling asleep and stuff. And then I got a second wind and I thought, don't go to bed at 6:30, you're just going to be up at 10 or 11 for the rest of the night. And I thought about doing a fireside chat, and I said, well, you know, I'm just too tired. I don't even want to go out there. But I said, I need to. I had some things I wanted to talk about, and then I got a second wind. I bought that, well, you don't know, but here's what happened. I went back to Whole Foods today to return another Amazon junk that I bought. I buy it, and I take it back. What a shocker. It's like, yeah, we know that. And so now, you ever return something to Amazon? There's a line longer than the one at Walmart. I mean, You go to these Whole Foods, UPS store, Staples, places that you can, there's a Winn-Dixie grocery over here. They have an Amazon place to return items. It isn't to buy anything from them. There's just all these places to return stuff because they get returns like you won't believe. But Jeff Bezos, he doesn't care. He's laughing all the way to the bank, just like Walmart. You know, they know that you get the money back, and then you turn right around and go back on Amazon, or you go right in the back of the store at Walmart, and you spend that money and you buy again. It's just a revolving thing. But anyway, I got over there, and there's a BJ's, and I have that a little bit of rewards money left. I had no cream for my coffee this morning. So I'm riding the bike. I'll talk about the bike a little bit too. And it was just amazing riding the bike. The weather's just phenomenal down here. And it feels, I mean, right now I'm getting off on it being cold. I wouldn't want to ride the bike in this cooler air because it's going to be really cold when you're riding the bike. But it's awesome for the fire and to be outside and no mosquitoes. And then during the day, it's 83 degrees. It's hot, sunny, beach weather. I mean, it's just amazing. So I get over to BJ's and I get my cream. And I bought some of that Machango cheese, a big wedge of it. If you've never tried it, I've talked about it before. Amazing, amazing tasting cheese. And I wanted to put that in the refrigerator right away, and so I was either going to come right back home or go visit Fred and Rafaela, take my cream in the apartment over there and open it and use it and have a cup with them. And Fred's bad about his phone going on silent and not knowing that he did it accidentally. And I didn't want to like call Rafaela and say, hey, I'm trying to reach Fred. What are you guys doing? Let me come over. I mean, I could have, but I said, well, look, his phone is not on. He's done that, switched it off thing somehow by accident. I'll just go back to the house. I want to ride the bike some more anyway. It was so nice out. And put the creamer in the refrigerator and make myself a cup when I get home. I mean, I haven't had coffee with creamer in a day. Couldn't believe I went to bed last night and woke up this morning with no creamer at 3 in the morning and nothing's open to go get any. So I drank Cowboy coffee because I had to have some coffee. But anyway, came back and I made a video. I didn't upload it because I got very annoyed. I wanted to replace the battery in my new motorcycle. And I'm watching all these YouTube videos and I'm figuring the bike's only got 6,000 miles in 3 years. So it no doubt sat a lot. Maybe they didn't put a battery tender or a maintainer on it. And the battery is just, the clock and different things like that actually still draw the battery a little bit, unless you put a tender on it. Oh God, you got the ghetto music playing out here. It was on at 3 o'clock this morning. So I got this great idea to take the battery out of the bike and take it to Batteries Plus, where I was going to buy a Duracell battery for the motorcycle. And I bought it online. It was all paid for. I just had to pick it up. And I called them up. I said, well, if I bring mine in, there's a core charge. They give you a little money back for your old battery. Can you just check this battery to make sure, it's not something else, and because I don't know what I'm doing? And they said, absolutely. And so you go down to Batteries Plus, and they've got a serious battery tester. They turn this dial up to check the volts, the cranking amps, and yada, yada, yada. Battery's fine. It ain't the battery. I think one or two things happened. And just briefly on the motorcycle. I think when I was trying to do my Apple CarPlay and connect, I still can't get it. It is the most difficult. You have a phone, a helmet, and a motorcycle with Bluetooth, and all three of them have to work in a precise order. The motorcycle will not take a second thing unless the headset, either headphones or the helmet, connected to the motorcycle. It has to have that first. You can't just go with your phone. You can't just, no. It's got to have that first thing. Anyway, I think I ran the battery down that day, messing with it for hours. And then I went to Venice, I told you guys, on it. And when I came back, it wasn't shifting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, and just kind of waiting and waiting. And it finally shifted, but it was holding way too long. It wasn't buttery smooth like it should be. So I figured out there's a sequence of numbers you press, or with the drive and the neutral button. Then you hear it clunking and making all this weird sound, which is normal. And it's a very smart motorcycle. It ain't the motorcycle. And anyway, I recalibrated the brain, and I'm back to tell you very happily that the battery's good, and that is a 6,000 mile motorcycle. That is a brand new motorcycle. So I'm very, very happy about that. And I've spent more time on my butt and on my knee, taking the battery out, fiddling with the helmet, trying to get the Apple CarPlay to go together, than I've ridden it. I'm telling you, I've spent more time standing out there next to it and then rubbing on it. You know, I've waxed it like 3 times now. I got to keep TRD in the loop because he doesn't know about, I don't video him every time. So anyway, I made this video taking the battery in and out like a tutorial. And it was hilarious because there's so many more professional, mechanically inclined people out there that I learned how to do it from. And they edit good. And I mean, they really want to show you exactly and give you all the points. Mine was a joke. And you probably would have found it humorous. But I was kind of getting annoyed there at the end. So I just didn't upload it. And another thing, this is very important, folks. You're going to see you're going to see a difference now. Now, I got started late tonight on the Fireside Chat, but I went from 720 resolution and recording my videos to 1080. A lot of you asked me to do that. And then I got greedy and thought I could do 4K. But when you're trying to upload a video using only cellular service, not home Wi-Fi, because I don't have that, it's a very big file. It takes a long time. Yesterday's morning Fireside Chat was what, 2 o'clock in the afternoon? It's ridiculous. And so everything's out of sync. So I'm not going back to 720. I won't do that. I mean, I was at 4K 24. I just changed everything to 1080p, 30 frames per second, high definition. And my cellular service of T-Mobile should get that up very timely. I noticed that not very many people found the ride on the e-scooter today showing the campers and the tiny homes in here. The park model is very interesting. I'm very surprised at the views on that. And a couple of videos I made, I guess maybe whatever. So, and those, what do they call, lavalier, the microphone that I got yesterday? I got it set up inside my helmet. I got it wired up around in there like that other little one. And I did a little test with the helmet on in the camper. I'm going to be able to give you really good audio with the lavalier wired. I'm not using it right now. I've got my regular mic on. So when I take a ride along the beach or down to Siesta Key, or maybe I'll go to Naples or down to the Florida Keys, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. That thing is a machine. I've got another product coming for review. I want to change the oil in the bike. I want to take the truck in. Tuesday I'm going to DMV again to register the camper. I got to see the eye doctor on the 20th. I got, there's something else that is pressing me that I have to do. As far as my sickness goes, I'm definitely on the mend. You heard me still hacking a little bit tonight. But someone wrote in comments, oh, I got the same thing, you'll have that for a month. I don't have it for a month. I know how long I have it, and I know what it is, because every time I've ever been sick in my entire life, I get the same sickness. I don't have all these different sicknesses that I've ever gotten. I get sick the same way every time. And you guys have seen it. I've been the same sick before with this damn cough. But, you know, I must have not washed my hands enough, shopping carts, or you never know how you pick up a virus. You know, you rub your eye, your face, put your hand near your mouth, suck on your fingers, bite your nails. No, just kidding. How disgusting. Remember people doing that in school or whatever? They would, down to the quick. You ever seen that? Oh my God. People, I'm glad I never had that habit. That is so disgusting. They couldn't have it grow halfway down their finger. They had to nub it off. Remember in I don't know, junior high, high school, we was really young. People used to lick their lips, and they got this sores like chapped lips from licking their lips. I don't know what made me think of that, but yeah, some very queer things used to happen when we were younger. Speaking about younger and older, I had a little bit of an epiphany today about getting older. You know, I used to kind of joke around a little bit about how, hey, you're not the same at 67 as you were at 62. You know, that 5 years is just like a 12-year-old when they turn into a 17-year-old. Is a completely different kid there. One that could only, you know, go to the bathroom by themselves, but everything else they had to have somebody do for them. Feed them, provide for them, a roof over their head. They couldn't drive, they couldn't marry, they couldn't work, they couldn't do anything. And then at 17, that person could do all those things. And the same thing from 62 to 67. Some people age and change quicker, you know, and drastically age. Some don't change much at all, but the masses, I believe, I know that I have, I'm looking at myself in the mirror, these muscle cramps and this weight gain and this lazy, can't get up after I squat down. And I'm not saying I'm out of it. I guess because I am so active and always have been that, you know, I'm noticing. Someone said I was healthier in Tennessee in the mountains, and you're right. If I had those mountains and those trails to hike, most of the people I saw on the trail when I was doing that were older than me or my age. So it's very addictive. It's very spiritual. It's so cool. And you get such good results from it. Mentally, physically, everything. Exercise is all of it. And, you know, going to the gym, it's very good. You can get muscles and all that. It's just a different thing. It seems like when you do yard work and hike trails and stuff, you're using muscles that you never use. And when you go to the gym and you isolate like the bicep or the tricep, there's so many other muscles that aren't even being used because you're just isolating. Not saying you shouldn't go to the gym. You should absolutely go to the gym. And that's another thing I haven't done lately. I've been so consumed with this darn bike, and I just don't know what's going on. my my walking and steps and all that, I'm off kilter. So I got to get back on it. But I was going to tell you, I was trying to think what I was going to talk about tonight, and believe me, I had no motivation to come out here. I was ready for bed at 6:30, and then a little cat nap, you know, is really all you need, 15, 20 minutes. I must have laid there with my eyes closed and don't know if I was ever really sleeping, probably. I was looking at Amazon. I was flipping with my finger like this, looking for motorcycle accessories or motorcycle wear, boots, shirts, jackets, pants, you know, just looking. And that's hypnotic. Man, I just fell asleep with my finger like that on the phone. Kept waking up, going back to sleep. And here it is, 6:30. And I thought, well, you know, you need to make another video. You can go out there and have the fire, and not just to make a video, but it's nice out here to do this. But I just didn't have the motivation. And now I'm out here. I had a cup of coffee. I bought that creamer, and I'm all hopped up now. I definitely need to stay up till 10 or 11 before I go to sleep, so I can hopefully not get out of bed till 6 in the morning anyway. This 3, 4, and 5 is like ridiculous. Doesn't even get daylight till 6:30. Car coming in, a truck. They clearly see my fire when they come in. All right, let's talk about my park here. I really do want to get some solar lights. Man, some of my neighbors have really got a nice setup with the sitting area outside, and I mean, it's just pleasant to be out here. I mean, for the next few months or whatever through April, it's going to be awesome. And everybody's rolling in. We've got 2 more that'll be here this week likely, next door to me, and everybody else is already here. And they're out here walking their dogs or riding around their golf cars. They're setting up. I mean, a guy over here was sawing and sanding. He's building some steps. So most people around here, they don't use the RV steps. They build like a stair goes over here and a stair that comes up on that side to the middle with a railing. And they put that in front of their camper. People skirt the bottom like these fifth wheels. I made a video today. I went around on my e-scooter. I actually met up with Buddy and Sue, who rented me their space when I came back from Utah over a year ago. God, I've been here that long now. About a year and a half almost going on. And, you know, by the grace of God, I was telling him, I said, I'm so grateful that you had your ad on Facebook Market. I had no idea where I was going on the way back from Utah. No idea. I didn't want to go to West Palm. Didn't want to go back to Jacksonville. I thought there would be nothing in Sarasota, you know, that would be affordable. And he had this place that he was offering. It was more than what I'm paying now, because he was doing it for a temporary basis. But it was somewhere to land until I could figure things out. And then when I landed there and pulled the crasher in, it's the next area over here, I went into the office and said, this place is righteous. You got a place for me to squat? And they did, right here. All a blessing from God. Really is. I'm very grateful. So I talked to Buddy and Sue today over there and told them how much I appreciate. And then I kind of bailed out on them about a month or so early. I had agreed to keep their place for like 3 months, but I didn't want to lose this place. So, and they did the same thing. That's how they found that place, is they came here and were squatting, and they liked it. I'm sorry. This talking makes my voice tickle. And so they went into the office and they got them their spot. And guess what? They're doing this thing around here. The management, we got new management, and they're really getting involved. They are encouraging people to make their properties look really nice flowers, whatever you got to do. And they give an award every month to the nicest RV space. That's, you know, and Buddy and Sue won it. They won. And I could see why. I went over there and they really had a nice setup there. Here comes a vehicle with a trailer. Here's another thing about this place. The campers that are over here behind me that are just stored, this is was kind of what they used to call an overflow area before they put in these storage sheds and these new concrete slabs and the new power post. It was just grass. The people have been coming here for 20 years next door to me. They were parked on grass. This section was kind of like more of a storage area where people were paying just to store an RV or a boat, whatever. Well, people have been taking advantage, and it's $100, I think, to store your RV, just to park it here, not live in it. Pretty reasonable. But, and you know, you have this little, I don't know, 20 by 20, whatever it is, like a spot here, you know, right over there. Goes all the way down, where there's no motorhomes and no power and sewer and all that. They just rent those spaces out to people that want to park a boat or a camper or something like that. Well, people were taking advantage. And they were putting 2 and 3 different vehicles on their space. You know, golf cars, trailers, you know, utility trailers, and their RV or boat. And one guy, and I think that's who just came in, and he left earlier with a semi-tractor trailer that's been back there for over a year. There's a guy that lives in here that has like 5 different things back there. He's not a minimalist. And he was paying for one thing, $100. And he would just take the liberty of sliding whatever he wanted in there. And others were doing it too. And so the corporation came in, and some of the neighbors around here were, you know, letting them know that this is what's going on. We would go by the rules. You know, you don't have to be here if you don't like the rules, but if you agree to the rules, that's why there are rules, is we don't want it to be a ghetto. You know, if you just want to like, hey, anything goes, you know what you're going to get, right? So, and they're pretty liberal here as far as letting people build up Fort Apache and do what they do. Now, you're supposed to ask, I think someone told me today, before you build steps. I mean, they're portable. They're not, you know, but you're supposed to ask and whatever, and that's fine. Because you don't own this, you know, so you should let them know. So anyway, corporate came in and they are giving notice to these people and they're getting out of here. So they're cleaning it up, and that's the deal. I do notice that, now do you do this when you have your front porch light on, you know, at your door at night? You turn that out when you go to bed and just leave everything dark out there? Or do you leave the front porch light on all night and then turn it off in the morning? I would think you'd leave it on all night. You know, floodlighting and, you know, in case unwanted people come around, it's not dark, they can lurk around, you know, without being seen. I see a lot of the RVs in here. They have all these nice amber lights and, you know, little Christmas decorations, a couple of them and everything. And, you know, as it gets time for bed, I've been noticing one by one, they shut everything down. And I leave my stuff like this all night. Yeah, I want this place lit up. Yeah. So do you do that? Do you turn all your stuff out when you go to bed and park in the dark? The reason I say it is I like the way they look when they're all, I mean, they're not bright light up, but you know, they got these little floodlights, solar lights and stuff. I suppose those are still going. I saw some over here. I'm gonna get some tomorrow. Let me see. Yeah, the guys got some in the. Of course, they're still on. They're solar lights, but they're not tiny. They're pretty good. They're pretty bright. He's got some out in the front. I want to run them right down my place, so when you come in, I'm gonna be representing. Yeah, I want to put that easy up. What is that light? Oh, that's a door. My neighbor was coming out. He's got a skeleton over there. You see those skeletons everybody got for Halloween? I saw them everywhere. You can get them 20 feet tall. You know, it's a skeleton like that. I saw them all over in Georgia, and people are buying them. And they got one, and they got it all with Christmas lights on it. It looks pretty cool. So I got to get myself some holiday lights, baby. That's what I want. I celebrate Christmas. I call it Christmas too. Yeah, I'll put something on the old shed here. We'll do a little, like those house lights that people do. I'll light my shed up. Get those green and blue and red bulbs. By the way, a couple of years ago when people were sending me things for Christmas, when I was in Boynton Beach, I had talked about icicles. That's what we call them. Some people said they were stencil. We call them icicles. Well, I was in Target, and they have Christmas trees out now, the fake ones, and, you know, getting you to buy them. The real ones will show up after Thanksgiving, of course. And I've never seen this before. I've seen the fake trees all decorated with the bulbs and ornaments and, you know, the snow on them, the white ones, the green ones. I saw from the old days icicles on a tree in Target. Folks, when I tell you with no exaggeration, this was like a professional icicle decorator. It had to take them a month to put these icicles on. There wasn't any clumps. When we put them on as a kid, we would take them out and we'd try to do 2 or 3 at a time and let them fall and drape, you know, and not be all like this way, but hang and all. And next thing you know, you're just trying to, you throw them in the air, you're thinking everything's going to work, and you end up having this truly a Christmas tree looking Christmas tree because it was really homemade. It wasn't, but this was like draped with icicles all separated. You know how big an icicle is, right? It's a little piece of freaking aluminum foil. I don't know who did that or how they did it, but I took a picture of it too. I should, if I still have it, I'll add it to this video. Probably deleted it. I delete everything. But I'm going to get a Christmas tree. Hey, you put it out here and you're just asking for it to get rained on, so put it inside. I'll get one. Well, yay big. I did read in the comments where some of you bought the cargo mat or the floor mats. I didn't read too many people that said they bought that battery jumper. I mean, whether you use my Amazon link or not, I mean, I wish you would, but you should get one of those. That it's got that air compressor on there. And do you have a bike? Do you have bikes at home you ride, or an e-bike that, you know, you want to keep the tires inflated? Or do you want to use a bicycle pump? We couldn't imagine, right, as a kid, anything that was electronic to blow up a tire. We had to bicycle pump. Worked just fine. But yeah, this is on 1080p high definition, not 4K, and it is 30 frames per second. Most all my videos are in 720. And for those that are geezers out there that don't know 720 from 4K, well, then you are old school. You probably own a 4K TV, no doubt. I can't believe how many people actually watch these videos on their phone. I do sometimes, but if I'm in that camper, I link my phone to my TV and I watch whatever I watch on YouTube on my TV. So anyway, I don't recall feeling this elated about being in Florida and in this RV park specifically as much as I am right now. I think that 2 months away really did me good. I had a good time seeing my daughter and everything, and then coming back to this great weather, and then, you know, procuring the motorcycle, which is extremely fun. Not having to drive around the gas guzzler all the time. And it's a pleasure to drive it when I do get in it. I mean, I'm blessed to have it. I mean, that is one beast of a truck. So that gives me another thought, because my brain works, you know, like that, you know. Watching YouTube last couple of days and talking about houses, 50-year mortgages. And now, guess what? Now, I knew about this one. Not that I have a problem or you have a problem, but there can no longer be any bad credit put on you for not paying a medical bill. You still got to pay your medical bill. You know, you're responsible for a bill as a bill. But they cannot, by lack of payment or default or whatever happened, you lost your job or inflation, you had to put something else more of a priority. They cannot put that on your credit. And if anything like that is on there, you can have it removed. And the reason I'm talking about this is because this first thing, this rumor started about 50-year mortgages. And now, no, they will run your credit to get a mortgage, but there's not going to be, with a lot of these mortgage companies, any credit rating required. Like it was before, it was like 580 or 680 or whatever it was you had to have north of that to be approved or considered. Now that's not going to be considered. Now what they're doing, a lot of them are going to be doing, I understand, I'm still getting the information, is instead of an algorithm or a computer telling a mortgage company that you're trustworthy or not, that an individual, a person, will actually evaluate your on-time rent, your utility bills, cell phone, that kind of thing, and will make the mortgage decision. And people can get a mortgage, so without worrying about their, you know, credit rating that might have gone down considerably if they lost a job for 3 months. You know, I heard the other day that very few Americans, like less than half, can pay 3 months of bills, and a lot of Americans have not even 1 month's worth of bills they could pay if they lost their job. People are literally living paycheck to paycheck. The disparity between those that have a lot of money and those that are just getting by paycheck to paycheck is extremely wide. But then I went on to find out about buying a house, condo, whatever, as a senior citizen on Social Security only with no job. And it falls under that they can't be prejudiced against you for, you know, your age or whatever. So as long as, you know, in Social Security, they count that. It's called a grow. I think that's the word. Let's say you get $2,000 a month on Social Security. They're going to consider you getting $2,500 a month. You know why? Because most people on Social Security, by the time they take their standard deduction, they don't owe any federal taxes. So all of that is their gross. And because they're not having to pay taxes, they give you that additional credit as a number that they're going to base your debt ratio to income to debt ratio. And so, of course, you want to have, low debt. You're not going to go out and buy anything anyway if you can't afford it, if you know you can't afford it. But they're not going to discriminate because you're a senior or don't have a job. And they're not going to discriminate if you get a credit, medical bill you didn't pay or can't pay or slow about paying. And, they're going to, offer these 50-year mortgages which don't do anything. But also, this is some news. Those that do have prison jobs, they'll be filing their tax returns coming up soon, will be getting back a lot more money, up north of 15%, 500 or more dollars of a tax return. The average return is supposed to be like $3,200 or $3,700 average. Some will get a lot more. Why? Well, I don't know if you knew this, but it isn't a tax return. It's a refund of your overpayment. I mean, that's what it is you paid too much in, and then you get money back. That's why when I was in the car business, we used to go in and say we got 8 dependents, so they wouldn't take so much out, because the more money you make, the bigger that they take out. But those people always get a big return at the end of the year because they made an overpayment. You don't have to just settle for what your employer wants to withhold from your taxes. You can claim more dependents. It's just the end of the year, you got to square it away. And then here's another bit of information for you. If you're turning 65 this year before December 31st, or you already are 65, on your tax return, over and above the standard deduction that you can take if you don't itemize, which is a pretty good amount. Trump bumped it up a few years ago. There's an additional $6,000 for a single person, a single filer, and $12,000 for a married couple, on top of the standard deduction, which is, I think, what, 12 or 14 grand that you get to take off of what you made. So that's why you won't owe any taxes on Social Security. And of course, you got to make under $75,000. You can't, be making Social Security plus a big paycheck and get this benefit. There is a limit, but I don't have to worry about that, neither do you maybe. So a lot of people are going to be getting more tax return back next year. The creative financing that they're doing on, also if you use a new home builder, these developers, they're setting their own mortgage companies. They're setting their own interest rates. They're offering these really low rates because they built the houses and they want to move these houses. So it's not impossible to buy a home and find some kind of creative financing in some kind of affordable way. Also, the average age of people buying homes now are in their mid-40s, and it was like in their low 30s 5-8 years ago. So obviously the young people can't afford homes today. I heard somebody say they paid 8% on their mortgage years ago, but they paid $79,000 for their house. So, it's all relative. So, I don't know why this 50-year mortgage is even being contemplated, but it may work for some people. Now, as far as me and my interest in that, it was just gleaning information. It wasn't, I mean, I might, there's a possibility with anything, but really, I don't want anything to do with it. I'm perfectly happy with what I got going on. And the more I see these people around here and how happy they are, now they do have homes though. You know, they leave in the summer and they go back to a house up north. But the other half of the year, just as much as they're up there, they're here. So they're living two lives. And it isn't like for 2 weeks. It's not a vacation. This is 5 to 7 months. These snowbirds stay down here. Now, some come down here, they got a big mansion too. They get plenty of money. But these people doing this with these fifth wheels and stuff, and they're getting together with all the group things and they do and meet and socialize at night. You know, I was talking to my buddy over here today. If I got an apartment, I'd be paying twice, at least twice, what I'm paying here every month. And I couldn't be sitting outside my apartment door with a fire. You know, I wouldn't have my truck and my motorcycle parked right outside my door. They'd be out in the parking lot somewhere, unless my unit faced the parking lot. And that would suck. So, I mean, there's a lot to be said about living like this and having this special spot I got and this storage playing. I mean, what's that worth? You know, kind of good stuff in there stored right outside my door. One of my neighbors, like I said, came over this morning. He really likes my Suburban griddle. Come out in the morning, make bacon and eggs. Come on. And you can do that on these nice days, you know, with the weather. And you got an apartment, right? You're in there. It's 4 walls. And you can decorate it real nice. It can be very nice. And you got people stomping above you, stomping beside you, stomping below you. And they're cooking. You're smelling all their crap. And this is great. This is just great. Now, is it for my ever home? No. We're all passing through in this world. But I'm in no hurry. I just got started at this. I mean, this was when I was living in Boynton Beach at Teddy and Jolene's. That was a bitchin' place. You know, it was on the Intercoastal and all that. But there were mosquitoes like unbelievable. And hot. And I was in the Wolf Pup for the vast majority of the time until I got this. And then right after I got this, I was only there a couple more months, and then I went to Jacksonville. And it was a good layup. It definitely was. We had the tiki bar in the back, and now you guys liked it a lot more because you know you just saw it on the video. You didn't have to sit out there with those mosquitoes, and the no-see-ums, not just mosquitoes, but no-see-ums. I don't know if you know what they are. I never seen one because they're no-see-ums, but they bite like first thing before the sun rises and right before the sun sets. They get in your scalp. Awful. Just awful. I'm not disparaging, I'm just saying that was a reality. So you know, we're all passing through different chapters in life. Jacksonville, my short stint up there, that was a nice place I had. I mean, that was the biggest space. Now, there was no concrete. It was all in grass. But, I mean, you know, there was no real, I guess there was a space I had, but it was deep. It was wide. They reformed that place. They rebuilt it and added, it turned into a full-on RV. I mean, I'd like to see it now. A lot more expensive, I'm sure. The family owned all that land there, and they were getting ready to develop it. And housing went in just on the other side of it. I mean, I got out of there before it even started. They started building these houses next door, but that RV park's completely changed now. So I go from there, and we'll wrap it up now. I go from there, and I go out west, and I come back, and I sold the Cramper, and I said, I'm out of here, and I need to get rid of everything except the Tundra, Toyota Tundra, and this. And whatever I could put in the back of the Tundra, in the Tundra, and in this camper, and go. And believe me, I purged it down to true minimalism. A truck and a camper. And whatever was in the bed of the truck, the back of the truck, and inside the camper. Sold everything, threw away everything, did everything, and got out of there. Went to back to Laughlin and ended up in Utah, and I was at that place, and I stayed there like a month, and they hooked me up with a good deal there. I made some videos for them promoting their place. It was beautiful in Utah, and then it got hot. I had no idea how hot that desert can be. I mean, your eyes are seeing is believing. You can see the scorched earth out there. It looks like the surface of another planet. So you know. But I checked the weather like on my phone yesterday in Laughlin. I think it was like 78 degrees, 73 degrees. Beautiful. Like here right now. But it turns into, like it does here. But this has got, and this is brutal. It's got nothing on that oven out there. That's uninhabitable. So I come back from there. I landed at Buddy's place over here, Buddy and Sue. Went into the office, got this place, and here we are with a shed full of crap. I've had 2 vehicles ever since I've been here. I keep switching them off. Now I've got a motorcycle with the truck, the camper, grills, fire pits. But it's still very minimal. Very minimal, but it's just, no reason being a miser. You want to be comfortable in life. You only get one go at this show. And I'm going at always thinking every day, what would be the funnest? What's the coolest? What's the most affordable? And I don't have any problem taking something back. If I buy something, it's not really going to have a purpose, I return it. I buy it thinking I need it or want it, and I'm like, you know what? It doesn't work. Like the neck thing for the, I had one, and that one works. And so I returned it. And so a lot of money that I spend actually gets refunded back into my bank. A lot of people don't do that. They buy stuff, and they're too embarrassed or lazy or have too much money or lost their marbles, and it just sits in the trunk of their car or in their garage or under their bed or whatever, and they don't return it, and they just buy more crap, and they don't use that either and return that either. I mean, not this guy. No. Who is this coming at me with this light? It's a, what is that? A golf car? It had this like mono light. Like, people ride around their golf carts, man. They're having a good time around here. And everybody knows everybody from all the years I've been coming. And now I'm getting acquainted, and more people know me than I know them. But, so I hope you enjoyed evening chat. Just kind of thinking out loud and rambling here. We didn't go into some of the some of the things that we've had before, but we'll do it. We'll get it next time. We'll do it tomorrow. But I'm glad you joined me. Those that do view the video, thank you very much. I'm gonna lighten up, and I'm also not gonna lighten up on my reminders. Every YouTuber does it. You just have to keep reminding people to use the Amazon link. Now see, most YouTubers, I do these reviews, so there are things you can use the link to buy that if you wanted to buy that. But if you're just buying stuff, like I'm talking about tonight, if you just go on my Amazon link on my YouTube channel, my front page, you'll see it. Or I can start copying and pasting it and putting it in the description of each video. It'll be just something you can click on, and it goes right into Amazon, right to some stupid product that you don't want. And then from there, you type in the search bar the thing that you wanted to go on Amazon and buy. But first you said, before I buy that widget on Amazon, I'm going to go to Sarasota Tim's Amazon link and click on it first, and then buy the stuff that I want. But he's going to get credit, and it's not going to cost me anything. You say, why should I do that for you? You don't. You don't have to. It's just pure love, folks. Just pure love. Pure kindness. But man, if I had 111,614 beautiful souls doing that, buying their Christmas junk and everything else they buy throughout the year, every time they used Amazon. Look at Jeff Bezos. Look how wealthy he is from you using Amazon. But every YouTuber is an Amazon affiliate. So they're all asking you to do the same thing I'm asking, is use my link. Use my link. So use the link. Leave a comment. I guess that helps in the algorithm to push the videos out, to get it in front of more people. Share the video. I mean, this is very invaluable information I just talked about tonight. You got to share that. And then you got to hit the thumbs up, or the thumbs down, whatever you want. But I'm working at this. And I understand that it can be like this throughout the year, and I'm over here doing this, and these videos are more interesting, or now I'm just kind of blah blah blah, or I'm making some bacon, or I'm at the beach, or waxing my truck, or walking around it and bragging on it, or I'm showing a battery product I got sent to me, or some floor mats. I get it, but I video everything, and it's a lot of work. To think about, getting the tripod out, putting the phone on there, getting the mic set up, ordering some more mics to give you the best audio, to give you the best video, and to make it fun. And I know most of you appreciate it all, and that's why you watch. And that alone is good enough for me. If you did nothing else but watch the videos, subscribe to the channel, and being part of my community, it's very important to me. So I appreciate each and every one of you. But if you are new and you stumbled across this channel, this is not what I do every day. I do everything. Ask anybody that knows me. But anyway, folks, let's call it a night. Here it comes to you in 1080p, 30 frames per second. And before it gets too late, I got to get it up. And then I'm going to watch some more YouTube videos, probably on Gold Wings. Not more. I don't watch any more iPhone videos because I bought the phone. And that's another thing. That guy called me again. It's going to take me about a week to get this all resolved. I'm like, oh boy. I got a $465 gift card. Where is that? Hopefully they're going to reverse that and put it on that phone. This is the first time in my life that I've ever had a phone purchase be unfinished the minute I walked out the door. Now, I know I did it to myself because I went back in. I wanted to exchange it for a different phone. We just talked about exchanging all night tonight. But I had no idea I was opening a bucket of worms like that. I kept the phone I had. I would have lived with it. But if I get it all resolved and he actually fixes it, and I get these payment credits that I bragged about for about a month, about how the phone's going to be free, next to free, then I'll be happy. And I'm optimistic that it's going to do that. Or someone's going to be paying. And the person's going to be me. Man, what a night if you could just, I hate to end it. But I'm gonna. Well, that cup of coffee I had with the heavy whipping cream got me hopped up. Watch this. I'll shut this off by just turning the valve on the tank off. Watch. Ooh. And that's the end of the story. Let me turn this off. So you get the raw video, the raw ending. I'll take this off. All right, that's it, folks. Take care. Love all of you. You remember? You remember now? Let me put this down right here. Put this down with my crusher. Crush it.